in the bedroom because the air conditioner's here, and that's so it'll be a lot cooler than it would be in either studio right now. Um, so I'm trying to get my chat on the screen here, on my tablet. So just give me a minute here. I gotta find a way to get this up on the screen. There you go. So today is a pretty steamy day. It's not chilly by any stretch of the imagination. It was kind of warm. Um, and I wanted to kind of give you an idea what's going on. Let's see if I can give you my horde flag over there. There you go. You can kind of see it in the corner. Yeah. Oh, no, I just blew it off the screen. Alright. Next size would be good for me anyway. So, anyway, the weather is kind of toasty. Like a Quiznos sub, toasty. I mean, not exactly as nice as a Quiznos sub. Probably about as hot as Duratar. Hello, Gaming Theory, how you doing? I left you a DM, by the way. I just want to let you know that. And, I thought I would take this time to, show you, some of the things that we got done in the bathroom and stuff. Mainly the bathroom is where most of the big stuff is done. So let me unplug this cord here. Let's switch this over to the other camera side so I can show you. Okay. I think I gotta clean my lens. Is it dirty? I think so. Okay, that's better. Alright, Misty's came in just now. Of course, he can stay in here for a while. It's kind of smoking hot out there. So we got two new things actually. One I bought because the landlord offered me an economy one, but I said I needed something that was better for my heavy mass, so I bought a new toilet seat. And you can see this is made out of a heavier material composite and cover. And you can change the seat out by twisting these latches, and then these latches will come off, and then the whole toilet seat will just lift off. So you can change the seat if you want to. The tub, the original packing, he couldn't find the right stuff. So I put this faucet on. I didn't have a shower attachment, so I made a new hose adapter. I think I chose a hose that's a little bit too big for my application. But, oh well. It works. It doesn't leak. Right now I'm washing a towel in there. And the last one they fixed was the old kitchen faucet, which, because of electrolysis between the iron and the brass, was corroding away. Because the sink is iron and this is iron here, and this is brass. We do have these insulator plate, but what happened is there was an electrical connection coming between the two, and it was just like eating away here. So we got a whole new faucet now, so that won't corrode away anymore. So at least not for now, anyway. Nah, tub is just average. Um, Some of you guys have never seen some of my stuff here. I'm gonna make this quick because of the heat. That came from Tiger Kitty over there. She created that. My reel film, my 16 millimeter film reels and 8 millimeter reel. Yes, I got the camera that goes with those. And one of my posters. It's not the only poster I got, but it was one of them. This is a camera. It goes over there, shows the couch. Pretty close to the same size. One picture. No tighter, but come back in the air conditioner. And we have, well, we do have another one that fell off the wall. I'll put this back up in a little bit. Apparently the peg came out. No, my rotten luck is probably on the floor somewhere. And trust me, I'm sure my foot will find it. I at least expect it. Oh, I found it. Let's see. Trying to find the original hole. Just, oh, that's why it came down. Sheetrock sucks, man. All right. And, cross over here. Just, so I've been hiding here in the heat because, you know, so I've been in here trying to get cool. I have AC in my room the whole time, but it's just this room. I don't have air conditioning in the other rooms. This is the only one that has it. There's my little unit there. It's been there for several summers now. But only this room has it. No other room has air conditioning. And remember I told you, teeth first. So we didn't get air conditioning anywhere else in the house. Oh, you already passed it. It's the couch in my studio where I do videos. In the old studio next to all the plushies. How you doing, best friend? Yeah, it's a simple basic analog air conditioner. It's not. Well, unfortunately, that's probably why I'm getting to be kind of a bit of a chunky person like my cat. He's in here too. He's in here or under the bed. Oh, he's right over there. Let's see where Rusty is in case you can't see him. Oh. Switch camera. There's Rusty right there. Sitting in the middle chair. That's the chair I sit in when I'm driving my truck. It's gonna support my fat ass. Certainly supports his fat ass. Alright, anyway, that's... Ugh. Let's plug my hair extension cord back in. I don't know how long we're going to be streaming for because I didn't really have a... No, you would too if you had a fur coat on you and you couldn't take it off. I can only suspect that he probably would tell you the same thing I'm telling you. You ain't got no way to take your coat off. And it's on your body 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Yeah, I could bet you're gonna want that air conditioner. So the yeah, well, we both do actually. So the I did a video today. I managed to pull this off, but it didn't come out that great. I managed to try to get ChatGPT 5 to talk to ChatGPT 4. Let's just say it wasn't very exciting. There was no humor to it. There was no funniness. ChatGPT 5 was as boring as an old college professor with a bit of an attitude problem. Well, maybe not an attitude problem. You know what I'm saying? No, this just wasn't fun. It just was boring, you know. Whereas, I mean, ChatGPT 4 was trying to loosen them up a little bit, but you really wasn't getting along with it. No, I didn't. Thank you. I'm bigger than life and fat as a house, but thank you. Yeah, good evening to Puerto Banza. By the way, most you guys, you probably know, we have our videos on today, but you're probably saying to yourself is, hey Michelle, when are you gonna show video without the stupid ads? Just testing something. Yep, my own hearts do come up. Okay. Well, I want to explain that to you. Donations are low, so depending on the ads from YouTube to keep things going. If you guys want to get rid of the ads completely, we're going to have to get some revenue coming in. So, because, of course, we have memberships too, which count. So we need to keep things going because, I mean, I got enough money this month to pay, say, $400 to $600 on the medical credit card for the audiologist. But I don't have, for next year, we don't have the thousands of dollars for the deep cleaning. So that means that we need more money. I hate to say that. So there's a chance that me, Hammer Nails, maybe Chris Bliss, may go up to Cumberland Farms and give them a shakeup. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, honestly, but it could happen. You know. Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Let me just switch this to all chat. And then on this screen here, anyway, what? Please don't get yourself in trouble. No. We're not going to do it in a way to get ourselves in trouble. We're not going to throw rocks or anything like that or them. We're not going to start a war with them. We're not going to start a street fight with them if we get this. We're just going to go down with them, nicely talk to the customer support people in person, and explain what's going on. And maybe they can get the manager on the phone, and we can get an impromptu meeting to discuss the issue. And because the guy never returned the phone calls. And we want to know why. That's all. Just want to know why. He had the phone number. I mean, he had the email. He could have emailed us. Why didn't he? Why didn't he email us? That's the question. Gemini, I'm for what it's worth, I'm saying this now, it's a bad idea. Well, I don't know if it's a bad idea, but I always believe that you have the right to, in a correctly, proper way, to express your concerns. I'm not suggesting you should go ahead and start doing a riot and smash your windows and shit. No, that don't make any sense. No. You deserve to have a chance to have a fair audience. You have a right. You have a right to be able to express your concerns, and that's fine. So, I don't know if that's gonna come up or not. I don't know what Hammer Nails is doing or what Chris Bliss is gonna do. But we'll have to see. It's nothing at this point. It's nothing planned, official, otherwise. Yes, I'm popping up in the meeting. Well, the word demanding is not what I would use. I would just show the customer support person and say, this is the conversations that we've been having online and email. And you said, or your email person said to me, that they would attempt to try to get the manager to reach out to us. But the managers never got back to us. And so we'd like to know if there's any way we can get them to be willing to contact us on the phone right now and explain to us why they haven't returned our emails and why they've been they just haven't. They haven't even said we're sorry we're late, they're just not returning our emails. No. I don't know what's the right way to do it, because look, guys, I'm not exactly getting skinnier. I mean, I need to feel. I know what some of you are going to say, so don't just hear my side of the thing from it. it's a comfortable place. It's a safe place. I enjoy being out there in the patio. I enjoy talking to them, and I do like that. And I definitely would like to see that this be resolved, at least, or I can be heard about what I was feeling or what I'm concerned about. Um, they know nothing about it. You're right, they don't. But the manager, as Gigi told me, called me a freak and thought I was a freak even before that time because of the bomb threat that a troll called in. It's caused them to lose a lot of money in sales. I think deep down they're holding that against me too. I'm not sure about that, but maybe they are. Call a long-term customer a freak doesn't sound like a good way to run a business. Not a lot going on here. 16 watching, 21 minutes ago. Yeah, that's bullshit. They don't have to listen to your feelings though. Oh, I would not get the men in blue involved, no. I'd get the men in black involved first, called attorneys. Because I feel it's affecting my First Amendment rights. Oh, more like Second Amendment or Third Amendment rights, the right to assemble. The fact is that I do feel that, we do have a right to politely explain our grievances. And I know someone say, who flippin' cares? Well, I do. Oh, tablet, what feature did I kick on this time? I don't know, what the hell did you pull out? I pull out a feature, I don't even know how to get back at it. Okay. I don't think it's an unreasonable feeling. I just, it just seems like so weird. Now I got a problem again. I lost my chat, so I'm gonna pull my chat back up here, because, there we go. Did I just tell you to leave the first time? Guys, just so you know, these shows you need to be subscribed to receive the notifications. So, page. Okay, so you can get 3 pieces of chicken Popeyes for $5. Oh, we don't have Popeyes in Winston. The quell the appearance of you. Thank you very much, Braindead. Much appreciated. To those of us who know you, that you are not a freak. Those on the outside peeking in, you do appear to be a freak to them. Right, I understand that. Yeah, well, I don't usually cook dinner. I mean, much. Like we were saying earlier this morning, I'm the kind of person who eats a lot of dairy products, more so than meat and some vegetables, but not much. And but I really kind of wish though is that well, I got some good news. Next week will be a bit cooler, which is good because that means that when we do the portraits in the living room, it'll be more hospitable. I don't know about Tuesday, but I do know, yeah, I think Tuesday will be too in the lower 20s, and Thursday should be like 22, 24. So it'll be better to be outside or in the other room. But that's pretty important to me. Where are the grays? I don't know. The stream maybe until it gets shared out. I don't really have a list of people I call freaks in the show. One of the things to just show that always has stood out on this channel is that we are a community of various levels, states of well-being, that we're all here because we like sharing things, we like sharing stories. And that's very true. I like sharing stories. Toxic has had a wrench for a long time. Everything else. That's all. He's on the morning shows often. You see him often on the morning show. So I don't really know what's going to happen in this winter. I could know a little bit about that because I kind of have a clue. Guys, according to Farmer's Almanac, yeah, I know. Farmer's Almanac may be just as accurate as your tarot cards. Yeah, okay, I'll go there. It says that we're going to have a very cold winter. Is it? Well, I don't think it's going to start out that way. I think it's starting by mid-September. The temperatures are going to drop into low 20s. It's still going to be nice days, but low 20s degrees Celsius. And then maybe by late October, we may see daytime highs of about 15 degrees Celsius. Late nighttime lows down to 5 degrees Celsius, or about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's something to keep in mind. It's going to be chilling down. By the time Yule comes, I have a good feeling from Yule to Mabon is going to be almost colder than expected for this time of year. I actually said her old ones had them way back to the 2020s. My great grand always used a farmer's almanac. I didn't know they still had them. Yeah, they do. They probably have the online versions now. So you probably can get. Well, I don't have any farmer's almanac. But I don't know. Yeah, who's the publisher of the... Chris said Nikki Michelle is a hermaphrodite with Asperger's, identifying as an owl. She did not choose to be born hermaphrodite, and she didn't choose to have Asperger's or legally blind or bad hearing or a broken kneecap or a hairline fracture in my hip. No, I didn't choose that. It's just part of my life experience. I know that a lot of people like to blame people for their infirmities. I choose not to blame anybody. It just is as it is. You know, you are given the challenges you have, so you can work out and overcome them. That is often your lifetime goal, is to overcome your difficulties so that you can become a more experienced and more empathetic human, so that you would understand others with their infirmities. By working through your own, you can make theirs better. You make their lives better. Owner is Farmers Only. The owner of FarmersOnly.com. Isn't that the dating site? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird when you think about it. A dating site called Farmers Only, right? No, I'm not a farmer, so I'm not eligible to go there. Nope, you're not a farmer, so... Yep, I'm sorry, you can't come here. No, you're not you are not a farmer. So, I'm sorry, I just have to leave. Bastard. I wouldn't mind consider it. Michelle is my mom. Actually, Michelle is awesome, yeah. But, yeah, so, I mean, so, what we talk a little bit about the story you did, part 2 last week. And I don't really have a story written for part 3. Um, Now, part 3 would be definitely conjecture, considering the fact is we don't know much about era of the Taygeta solar system in the Pleiades. I'll be honest, we don't know much anything about it. You got the backstory here. You have an Arcturian stepson named David, a Palladian stepdaughter named Tara. Lumi is able to separate using something similar to holometer. Yep. Carmen is now established a home on the property and often takes care of the stepkids. When me and Lumi are talking on the local councils and acting as a emissary for Earth to the councils, House's combination of human Victorian with blood elf and Aeron housing standards. Bedroom is huge. It has electric and gas lighting. Kitchen is kind of small with a gas stove. I had to get stuck in an electric stove on the ship for 20 years because there was no natural gas on the ship. It's still got a nice big Victorian bathroom with a fancy clawfoot tub. David and Tara have their own bedrooms. And like I said, Carmen took her house idea of 313 North Riverside in Los Angeles and remodeled it. The concept reduced the size of it to fit into our property so that it's a guest house now, just being a lot smaller. And she's got a nice veranda, a big custom veranda like the original house at 313 North Riverside. Oh, speaking of grande, look who came over here. Let's get the kitty cat some TV. Yeah, how you doing, kitty? Oh. Yeah, big cat. Big kitty. So, can't really see the cat behind me, but he's right next to me actually. You can see him over here. God bless the farmers, they're the ones who keep us fed. Ouch, ouch. Okay, Rusty. The team watching. So, yeah. So, so 13 watching people here, and Now, the house is actually on a lake. It's we do have access to the rights to having a boat, but we don't really have a boat because people era don't have boats. They have spacecraft they use like personal cars, you know. And ecological, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Herman Nails, thank you. I do appreciate that a lot. And and then of course, I want to show you some kitty cat. Oh. Let me switch so I can actually can use this to show the cat. And there's Rusty. We're having a contest. It's going to be due around the 9th of September. Over at work. Involving this cat. Showed some of the artwork this morning that was kind of presented. Big kitty cat. You gotta do me a favor. You gotta stop waking me up at 6:30 in the morning. I swear to God, one day you're gonna do it just one too many times, and I'm gonna take your fat furry ass and I'm gonna throw you out the door. He does that to me every friggin' day. He's like, "Excuse me, but I'm kind of hungry." Get in line, buddy. Yeah. Oh, hold on a minute. Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, there's a little cord in them. Yeah. So. I think if I literally throw him, I think I'd probably put a hole in my wall. No, you absolutely wouldn't do that. But he does wake me up early in the morning, and I don't really like it very much. When he keeps waking me up at 6:30 in the morning, like, "Excuse me, can I be fed?" I don't mean to be a pain, but I'm kind of hungry, and you want me to feed you now? Yes, ma'am, please. I am very hungry, and I'd like to eat something. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Um. Oh, I feed them in the little hallway, so that's what a canned food is. So, big cat though. So, get your claws out of my hand. Why would you in the claws kind of constantly Show me your dominance. Well, usually he wakes me up at 6:30 in the morning anyway. I gotta use the bathroom, so that's usually not a problem. I mean, his cat food dish is on the way to the toilet, so I just feed him, and then before I use the bathroom, and then when I come out, I just go straight back to my bedroom, sleep another hour and a half to 2 hours. Sometimes 2.5 hours, depending on how tired I am. All right, so let me get back to the story. So what kind of jobs? Well, I know Gosia said from the Cosmic Agency about the people in the Tegetan star system that there is no mandatory work. But there are people who work because they want to work, doing their passions. Their basic needs are provided for. They don't need to work to make a living. They really don't. They don't have to work. Doesn't mean that they can't work. But if they do, they're doing the jobs that they love. I believe it would be considered a level 1 society. We're not even level 1 yet. We're barely level 0.5. Maybe a level 2. I don't know. But the point is the whole idea of being able to enjoy working for fun because you like it, not because someone's telling you got to do it to pay the bills. In fact, there's no money. There's no need for money. Because everything is available for free. This is according to Gosia Duzak of the Cosmic Agency, who's channeled Swaro and other Palladians. I find it kind of interesting, but I don't really know how the average person in America would be able to handle that. Because think about why. They'd be saying, wait, I don't have to work? Nope. I don't have to basically pay the man? Nope. I don't have to pay utility bills? Nope. I don't have to pay gas. I don't have to pay electric. I don't have to pay phone. Nope. So you're telling me I could lay on my fat ass every day, do nothing, and basically still be provided for. Yep. But most don't do that. Here's one thing that's boring as fuck. You actually think about it. You want to sit and lay on your ass every day and do zero activities? Most people will tell you straight out, nope, not doing it. Speaking of that, this bed, it always drives me crazy. Is the way this bed frame sits. There you go. It's not, just a little off. So, I'm just gonna fix my. On the way, I hate when they start rolling down like that. Just kind of weird when you think about it. When the Greys show up, we should interact with them. Oh, the Greys, you know, let's back that up. There's a couple different Greys species. Some of them are not good people. Or just as soon shove an anal probe up your anus before you even get a chance to even say hello. They might even show one in your mouth too. But then there are other grays that are a little more respectable and kind, and will try to have a conversation with you and explain why they're there, what they're trying to find out. Ethically, the grays, there's, like I said, there's at least 2 categories. So, I guess it'll be kind of hard to determine which grays you're dealing with, if that makes any sense. This is what? You're watching the North American Snow Queen sitting in her apartment freezing or roasting her ass off. Hi, Andrew Johnson, how you doing? So the grays are different. I find it kind of interesting the way that there's so much misunderstanding about the gray aliens. Yeah. But so what does Carmen do with Tara? Tara and Carmen on the Era are doing things like Tara's interested in learning dance. So Carmen, which often acts as kind of like a babysitter when we're working, has been teaching her in the story how to dance. So do simple samba moves. And but why would I be part of the council when I'm not a person that was the native person of Tegeta solar system? Probably because it was decided that, hey, you know what? You're here anyway. You have a right to be here. Our laws say you can be here as a member of the council. Plus, you're suggested for the council because the fact is that you have knowledge of Earth, which could help with our continued first contact missions to Earth. I would still be doing my Silver Moon radio show, and I still would be doing my YouTube channel from Tegeta, often playing local Tegetan music from other people of Era and the other surrounding planets of the Pleiades, thus giving a musical richness and tone that doesn't exist on any terrestrial music program on Earth. It just wouldn't exist anywhere else, because the music of Era would be very unique to Era and Tegeta. And that's one of the reasons why I think so many people would love it. Even when I was on the ship, we were still playing music too. The difference was we had our record collection with us, and we're still getting music off YouTube videos and playing that. And of course my MP3s and everything else. But once it got in the Era, I was able to find local recordings of Eran music, and those became part of the show. Michelle is a North American Snow Queen. She was born a hermaphrodite Asperger's, you do not choose this life. Feel free to ask questions, but please be respectful. Thank you. Yeah. So, I don't even know why everybody makes a big deal about this portrait streaming. Thank you very much. I say that because every time I do portraits, right, I'm not bringing in the thousands of views that Noodles keeps talking about. Well, you might get the views, but they're casual, like just quick fly-by-nights views. I probably checked for a minute and then they already just left. Perhaps. Yeah. It's very sad. The Noodles is saying to me, hey, you're going to be making a fortune. Really? Thank you very much, human body. It's the one I danced to samba in the purple dress. The woman in the purple dress. It's the same dress. Yeah. I just need to try to get my weight. I just gotta try to slim my gut down a bit. That's kind of what we started talking about at the beginning of the show. Is that during these hot days, I haven't really been out anywhere. I mean, I go out once in a while to take care of things, but not as much as I would like in the fall or spring. I do go out in the winter too, but in the winter I have to be careful because if it's really icy outside, my walker doesn't have winter tires on it, so it can easily skid out of control if I'm not careful. But that's expected, you know. I know, I am. That's what I'm doing on Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday and Thursdays. Because I figure Tuesdays and Thursdays will give 2 night days. I still don't understand why streaming on portrait, the restream, the Discord show didn't work out very well. Me and Lumi are still trying to figure that. Only thing we can think of is that maybe the echo cancellation on the Studio Restream IO may not have a clear idea what's going on with the YouTube side. I mean, with the Discord side. Maybe we gotta turn off the background noise cancellation. But the problem is you do that and it's hot and the fan's blowing away like crazy. They're gonna hear that hurricane blowing around on the fan without trying to keep cool, not disrupting the show. And that's a problem. Now, this is the only room that has air conditioning. And it's not much of an air conditioner. I can tell you it takes quite a while to get this air conditioned room down really as cold as it is now, which is probably about 72 Fahrenheit, or about 22 degrees Celsius. It's a real challenge to get it that cold. The ceiling's insulated in here, but the walls are not. So unfortunately, that means in the heat of the day, there's these big air pockets of the wall where there's no insulation, so it doesn't take much for the heat to disappear through the walls, or the windows for that matter. Why is the like so important to viewers? That's a good question. You know what? I'd like to know why the dislikes are so important to us. So let's keep it simple. If you're going to have a likes / dislikes, you have to have both. Just showing the likes doesn't tell us a damn bit of thing. The dislikes can be valuable for determining scammy channels from non-scammy channels. That's why Disney begged YouTube to remove them, because a lot of the movie trailers get millions of dislikes. And instead of trying to find a way to make the trailers better, Disney just went ahead and pulled out their heavy wallet and said, yo, fix this or you're not getting any of this. All YouTube really had to do was just add another toggle in the app. Or YouTube could have told them straight out, said, listen, Disney, just turn off the likes and dislike count. Oh, we want to show the likes. But if you're not going to show the dislikes, then you mean it's invalidating the whole entire statistic, which means the statistic is useless. And that's something that is important to remember. But people can also mass dislike you for no reason, and that's not fair. That's true. If the likes is the main source of content for the channel, that channel will not make it. Comment sections will, well, if they disable comments, I guess that's a giveaway too. You know, by the way, tomorrow is officially the beginning of YouTube's new ID initiative. If they cannot prove that you're 18, you'll be considered a juvenile, which means you will not be able to pin comments, you will not be able to leave comments, you will not be able to join chat. I believe that's also part of it as well. I may be wrong. You're not going to be able to receive super chats, super stickers, super things. You will not be able to pin comments. You will not be able to show links. You certainly will not be able to access channels that are considered adult channels. If you look at this channel, it says, my content is made for adults. It's not directed towards kids. And it isn't. I'll be honest. 18-year-old with their family's permission wants to watch my shows and don't use it as a bedtime story and fall asleep. Congratulations. Then maybe you're not such a kid after all. But most kids would never watch my show because it doesn't really resonate with them. And that's true, it doesn't. It's never going to be a kid's channel. I'm not kid material. I cuss, I swear, I fart. I used to drink alcohol on occasion. I drink coffee. I eat too much. Definitely not something you want a 7-year-old to watch. Or even a 14-year-old. Seeing a 57-year-old woman cussing and farting and drinking too much coffee and talking about government and politics, it's just not going to be their thing. They're just going to go, nope, not interested. And that's because they're not. They don't have to be. Think about tricks. Let's see. I never look at the likes or dislikes. The only purpose for it was to put that video on your playlist as for others to see. Not really. Yeah. I look at the dislikes once in a while, but it's not. So what I'm saying is, instead of YouTube basically telling Disney straight out is, listen, bud, don't show the likes or dislikes. If you don't have likes or dislikes shown, no one's gonna vote one way or another. But we want them to vote. Well, then gotta give them a fair vote. I'd be like saying is, presidential candidate A, i.e. Trump, you can see a whole number of vote for him, but you couldn't see who voted for Kamala Harris. Right? Would that be fair? No. How many really wanted Trump? How many really wanted Kamala Harris? Well, the truth is, we'll never know. Fortunately enough, our politicians never got that far. They're just trying to say, well, we're not going to show the voting score of the opposition. We're just going to show our votes for our candidate. Yeah, but without seeing the votes of the opposition, you really don't know how well the candidate's doing. You need both to calculate a percentage. You could say 75% of people like this video, but that means that you still, now you don't know what are the 75%. I mean, you could have, say, a total of, for this example, 3 likes and 10 dislikes. And, which means that's like 30% like the video. And then if you know exactly how many voted, you could say, out of 65 people, only 35% like the video, then you can figure it out in mathematics because you know the percentage. It's a simple idea, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to everybody. It's kind of confusing sometimes. Suck it, says Bradley. What do you mean by that? I never look for likes before watching a video because too many disgruntled viewers trying to harm a creator. Yeah, that's another reality. I never understood why they would do that anyway, why they would want to harm a creator. What's wrong with just appreciating the people that come onto the show? I check the comments if I want to have an idea if I want to watch or not. Well, I agree with that, but Grace, what about in the live streams when, um, I mean, before the live streams go live, like the morning show, 10? You can't look at the comments of the live stream of the show before we go live because there's no comments yet. Yeah, you can look at the yesterday's or the from the week before, but on that day's show, you can't really see it because it hasn't happened yet. You know what I'm saying? And that's something we need to keep in mind. You know, it's just, so what's the answer then? Well, unfortunately, it looks like majority of the audience is kind of getting ready to wrap it up. Um, we're down to 11 people, and I don't know what the viewer count is, but I do know. Yes, please do like, share, subscribe, and make sure you turn on the bell too, because I don't always um, announce the shows ahead of time. I did announce the show this morning that we were having one. I didn't see exactly when we were having it. Okay, nor did I say where we were having it. And I do want to take a look at the see if Gaming Fairy got back to my message. And also Wednesday will be Turtle Wow about my therapist is from 6 to 6:45. Maybe it shouldn't take me too long to set up. Maybe about 7:15. The Turtle Well will begin. And also, we did find out that there is a mode called relative mouse mode, which overcomes where the world starts spinning. I just did this, right? So when the world starts spinning and I'm getting all dizzy, try relative mode and it switches it just to track that screen, but it's kind of weird because when I want to get back out of that to check the comments or something on the other screen, I have to hold on Command Tab key and then select another window. I could do the same thing on Windows, so Window Tab when I'm on a Windows screen, so that I can follow the chats and have the closed caption notes coming up on my screen. And then maybe Friday, we'll be playing Ascension Well again. Maybe we'll play it this time. No, we'll play it in private because the reason is that that's when I can get a chance to kind of just have a little fun because Braindead couldn't get it working. A lot of people couldn't get it working. Chantix, I don't know if she's got it working. I know Galaxy Eyes had it working at one point, but she doesn't have it working now. Maybe soon we'll be driving the truck in here again. It might be a thing. But what I want to do eventually is that once the heat breaks and cools down, I do want to go out a little more. There's a new Domino's opening. There's something being built in the old Cumberland Farms. Maybe I can stop by McGreen's to get some lunch again. So that might be an option too. Checking out different things and stuff. Flood, 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 flood. Oh yeah, is it gonna be raining around your area? Is this even part two of the part two stories? Kind of, but it's not really a story. It's just discussing how it works, what it's about, and things like that. So, let's see how many people are actually watching the show. I mean, not views. I mean, I know any views, but how many? 75 minutes, 49 seconds. One $5 donation, 11 views right now, 20 likes. Okay, so the stand is, okay. We have 13 right now. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the kind thoughts. Let's see if we can try to continue to. Oops, I get this one. It says here. Well, I don't really have a story right now, but I think we can see kind of where I would like to continue on with environment and together on era and the together solar system. Thank you very much. I appreciate it so much. Bradley, thank you so much. Oh, I give you some hearts over here too. And give it a heart over there. Thank you. Don't forget your members. I'm not trying to figure out my members. Did anyone become new members today? I know some people renewed. Alright, so why don't I try to cover some of the story? Alright, here you go. It didn't take us long, but after we got off the ship, and we basically established everything in a home that the people of Era built exactly to my specifications. A mix of both Aran housing and Blood Elf housing and Victorian housing. A huge Victorian home. We're on a lakeside with a nice access to the lake in the back. It had a dock for a boat, but we didn't have one. But we put one in anyways. There. David loved his room he got. He basically got himself a room on the second floor. He had a nice large room with a place for his models and G.I. Joe figures. Tara had her also a room of about the same size, which had for Barbies and her, little girl knickknacks and her toys. Both would be physically about 7 or 8 at that point, but we realized that they were much older than that. My room and Lumi's room was a master bedroom, was a large room, Cinderella design, lots of Blood Elf furnishings, with some of the later subtle colors you would associate with Era. Nice, large, big bed, canopy bed. Lots of open windows, lots of area light coming in. Gas lights on the wall, as well as electric table lamps. Bathroom was an older style bathroom with a cast iron tub. Very common what you would see in a Victorian home. Kitchen was a standard type of Victorian Blood Elf kitchen. Gas range, microwave, refrigerator, cabinets, eating breakfast nook where you could eat, as well as there was a kitchen table. The living room / parlor was a large room complete with a flat screen TV. Again, very much oriented around the concept of the cinderi, with some of the getting touches, such as the light blue colors, which was very common with Tegeta. The back deck was huge. It was actually it was a deck slash patio combo. You could walk down the back path. You could go to the dock where we would normally park our boat. We didn't have one at that time, but we decided to build a dock anyway. Another path branched off from that and went to Carmen's house, which is very similar to the house that she had in Beverly Hills. The house, which was based on North Riverside 313, was greatly reduced in size so that we could fit in what was our large 3-acre lot. There would still be room for her house and her in-ground swimming pool. She insisted on a swimming pool despite the fact that we had a very clean lake. I guess she decided she likes the water to be blue and full of chemicals. Well, Aaron's actually came up with a better solution for chlorine. I don't understand how they got rid of kept the algae to a minimum, but they certainly weren't using chlorine. She had a nice patio, and you could she had an outdoor kitchen and an outdoor wet bar. So you could have, but she stocked with not beer or alcohol for regular occasions, but rather things like sodas and juices. It was very common that we would sometimes all go out there and hang out when we decided not to go swimming in the lake. Downstairs in the basement, I had my studio. The YouTube studio was large and was very vast. It was based on my Earth studio. Same thing, same 2 monitors still, same M1 Mac Mini, 2 turntables, braille display, mixing board. LED lighting was adapted to deal with the fact that Era, by nature, usually ran everything at 480 volts, access to 3-phase power. We installed a step-down transformer, which brought everything down to about 240 volts power. The flying frequency was still 360 hertz power, so things that were based on clock timing didn't affect anything. Tara would often sit there in the studio when I wasn't doing anything, and she asked me at this point, she said, "Mama, I'd like to do my own show." I said, "What do you want to do a show on?" "I don't know, maybe talk about, Barbie and, the dolls and things I have and things like that." Oh, I remember I just read about the YouTube's new 18 rule. I said, well, it might be a bit hard because of the new policies that they changed. I don't know if I could be able to put your content on my channel or if I'd have to have a separate channel for you. Because the way YouTube is. So I said, but I'll have to look and ask and see what happens. She was patient about it. But personally, I didn't know what was to expect. Was YouTube going to let my stepdaughter, have a channel? Or were they going to slam the door in her face before she even opens up her first video? Tara was very responsible and she really wanted to do this. But the fact is that I was tutoring my daughter in education, and the fact is that we had, both me and Carmen and Lomi were teaching her educational materials at home. While they do have schooling in Era, it was just easier sometimes to homeschool. Especially since, just like Earth, some schools varied in quality. Most of them were good, but there were a few that were, shall I say, not so good. My daughter had advanced a lot in learning English, and we have learned a lot of Palladian language from our daughter too. And she, of course, the cat. Let's not forget this guy, shall we? He was still very happy, healthy, strong, even though he was 34 years old at that time. The medications they gave him to deal with his thyroid problem probably helped him lose a lot of weight too. The veterinarian that looked at him said he should easily live to be another 34 years or 68 years old because the medical care was so abundant on Era. Lomi kind of decided that she wanted to do some cooking and was actually doing more of the cooking in the kitchen. Thanks to her hollow transmitter, both her and Carmen were both working in both kitchens, cooking up a storm. Whereas our kitchen had a gas stove, Carmen's kitchen, she chose to go in an electric one. So she had an electric stove, we had gas, and so sometimes you see both cooks running back and forth between the two kitchens, between carrying platters of hot food. They certainly ain't good. Ate a lot of simulated meat, lots of vegetables, and lots and lots of milk, and lots of dairy and fish. No one was starving, that was for sure. My first day at the council, I was really not too surprised. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but there really was not an election. It just showed up. Just like Seraph said, just like Kaylin said, you just show up. That's what I did. Kaylin introduced me to the council and said, if there's anyone who understands first contact with humans, it's Michele. She's the one that is going to be the best advice to how we can reach out to the humans. For she is a human. The older council member, who was probably about 500 years old, looked at me and said, "My, aren't you a pretty one?" I blushed, looking at the old man. Oh, thank you. I guess. What's your age? 87? 87? My God, you're a kid. Yes, sir, I would be a kid, yeah. I'm just joking, you man. What's your name? Michele, right? Oh. Look, I don't have a problem with you being part of the council. Maybe you can help us understand something about humans. Well, that's why I'm here. That's why it was suggested by Kaylin to come. He said, excellent. He said, he pulled out a video screen and a chip. I pulled this off of your TV shows. Next thing you know, I'm watching the Playboy channel. The Playboy channel? Yeah. What is it with humans and reproduction? It's I coughed. It's just something some humans have a passion for. The show. Out of 15 billion people on your planet as of this time, do you think humans need to reproduce more? Sir, he said, come here, Falier. Okay, Falier. I honestly will tell you right now, I don't think we need to procreate anymore at this point. As you said, human race is basically at its maximum capacity. However, people are still enjoy it for recreational activity. But yet, they sometimes still have babies, yes? Yeah, sometimes they do. Especially if they're either aiming to have children or they get careless. He said, I mean, I'm just trying to say, it seems like such a rudimentary fact that you're gonna have children when you do reproductive acts. I sat there starting to turn a little pink with embarrassment. Yes, sir, I agree. That's true. If you're going to do acts of reproduction, yeah, you're likely to have children. And then you have to deal with the responsibility of feeding them, clothing them, making sure that they're safe. He said, wouldn't it be better if humans did nothing like that at all? Lumi spoke up. It's not so much a matter of telling them not to basically procreate, because human beings have a need to procreate. It's important for their well-being. If they don't reproduce, their bodies get all messed up. He said, interesting. He said, I actually heard about another thing called Rosie Palm and her five sisters. Yeah, that's another way of dealing with the problem. But it's not really that exciting. So why don't you just find a way to find another way to do it without the risk of creating a new life? I haven't been on Earth in over 20 years, Valir. I can't tell you how they've come up with now, but I'm sure the idea of being spayed and neutered could certainly be an option for some people to do. It certainly was not a popular option when I was there. But most people will tell you they can't afford having kids. And so after Valir's conversation, other questions came up. Like, for example, what do the people on Earth think of extraterrestrials? Why was it that the UAP, UAV, UFO discussion in Congress was so messed up? Why were people asking for Congress to release files, but Congress refused to do so? Some of the things I was asked I didn't know the answers to, but I did say I would try to find the answers. But Lomi and I kind of both shook our head in dismay afterwards and said, you've got a government that doesn't tell us nothing. Over 20 years, I mean, as far as 20 years out of date, we don't know what's going on Earth right now, and yet we're being asked to try to explain why these things happened. I don't know, she said. I don't know how you would answer the questions. Caitlin said, you did well. It's too bad, though, that you couldn't answer all the questions. But you did put some good work in, said Seraph. I'm proud of you both for at least speaking as best you could about the most sensitive subject of reproduction. I kind of shrugged. Yeah, well, I knew sooner or later it was going to come up when they started showing me the video from people on the Playboy channel. I couldn't believe that you guys don't reproduce like that. No, we do. Not really much though. Still number one. Yeah, I see that. So we ended up basically just going, well, so me and Lummy rode our small little electric bicycle home. We had a bike that was built for me and her. She turned off her helmet, basically slipped back into my body as I rode home. We were still carrying on the conversation. You know, we need to find a way to answer the question, she said. The scenery here is pretty, by the way. Oh, yeah, absolutely. There were beautiful tree-lined boulevards. The streets were well paved. Lots of plants. Some blue. Some plants were blue. Most are green, it's in gold color. You can see in some areas where the Palladian children, and sometimes even Arcturian children, would be playing with them. The Arcturian children that were visiting from Arcturus had small little oxygen supplies around their nostrils so they could breathe properly. Thank you very much again. Thank you very much, Braindad, and I really do appreciate it. And, so where was I? Oh, we were describing the Arcturians. Oh, yeah. The Arcturians that had lived on Era for a while didn't need any supplemental oxygen because they had adapted to our 75% oxygen, 20% nitrogen, 5 trace other gases atmosphere. Era's gravity was 0.8 of Earth's. So which means for my large ponderous body, mountain walking was a lot easier. Every year I'd go in for my knee check to make sure it's doing okay. Doctors would go ahead and do a body cleanse to make sure I was free of toxins and anything that may have accumulated from my times on Earth. I didn't have anything toxic in my body at that point. When I first came in, my body was reeking with toxins and poisons. When my first year on the 3-eye atlas, the water that came out of my body was filthy. By the second and third year, the water was clean, as it would be extracted from my body and replaced with fresh, clean water. And all the cells were rebuilt, restructured, remade better. My kidneys were strong, my bowels were strong, my teeth were repaired to fix any issue with periodontitis. They had all that taken care of. My eyesight, they managed to remove the cataract by some means using a special technology. I don't understand what they did, which actually stopped the free radicals from destroying my right eye. It didn't give me 20/20 vision, but that was okay. That was optional. I told them I've always been legally blind, so I would never really appreciate or really begin to appreciate 20/20 vision because I never had 20/20 vision. But either way, I was there and I was doing my morning show every day. All the people on Earth didn't realize there was a 15-minute lag between me and them. All my mods did know. And they knew that I would do my best to try to catch up with the chat as fast as I could. And the money that was brought in, we arranged with a foundation to use the money that was sent to our AdSense account to go for philanthropic projects, such as helping those with disabilities and those in need, because ERA didn't need money. Well, what I do with money, I can't spend it anyway. And so our foundation took care of all of the paperwork, all the leglas, everything. Out of the hundreds of dollars I made in a single month, 200, 300, 400, 500, as much as I made one time, $4,000 was sent out to programs to help the homeless and disenfranchised to actually find safe, clean housing, as well as work on educational resources to make people feel more embodied and empowered to do good for the community at large. We went out there and taught people about how to prepare and how to save for themselves, how to prepare for these futures, how to return favors, and how to help grow, be a better, stronger part of the human system. As several of the Arcturians and Pleiadians of the Three Eye Atlas decided to also reside on Earth because President Donald Trump, at that time, in less than a few months, gave them the appropriate paperwork to become become legal aliens. In this case, literally legal aliens from outer space. They had the green cards and they had a chance to get a work visa, and they were working in a country of Earth to share knowledge. And we're certainly working with Congress on updated policies regarding UFO, UAV, UAP procedures. That's a big difference from the early years when everything was all about trying to basically sweep aliens under the rug or pretend they don't exist. When we could see, I still went from them, a 6.5-foot tall Pleiadian woman with blonde hair, blue eyes, and a nice smile that radiates like the sun. Kaylin was one of the ones that would later, another one would come in later called Kara. Kara is spelled C-A-R-A-H. Kara would be her replacement working as the embassy at the Pleiadian embassy. Then we have Tarvela. Tarvela was the Arcturian that was part of the Arcturian embassy. Both were very experienced in communications. It wasn't the same anymore. Humans could not say they did not know of ET. When they had an embassy in Washington, D.C., with 2 ET embassies, the Pleiadian and the Arcturian embassies. There were many people who traveled back and forth. Spacecraft were now constantly traveling to Earth, sharing new things, new ideas. Things got kind of scary when the Greys show up of the Cabal. Oh, let's not forget those. You see, there's 2 different groups of Greys. And the one Greys that's really are really the kind of benevolent Greys. But we're talking the bad guys. We saw their ships coming in fast. The Arcturians and the Pleiadians already had their monitoring ships. Their scimitars A and scimitar B ships were already sitting ready in the background watching for these craft. The interceptor saw them and quickly knocked them out there in cold, hard space. The evil Greys didn't give a flying fuck. They opened fire, not even answering a hailing call. Need I say, they didn't get very far before the ship was disabled and they were boarded by the Arcturians. I don't know exactly what the Arcturians did, but all I know is there was no Greys left alive after they boarded. Another Grey ship came in, but it was one of the good Greys. It had gotten the message for the block of the attack, but it got there a little late. And they said to the leader, Valeron of the Pleiadian High Council, I'm sorry we're late. We just got the message. It took us a while to reach us. It's okay, said Valoran. We took care of the problem. I am most disappointing that our soulless brothers and sisters have tried to attack you. You see, the Greys actually started out as as one group. Those that truly wanted to be part of the good, and those that thought being good was for pussies, and said fuck it to the end and walked away and decided to just be badasses and cause harm. Those were the evil, malevolent ones. You could see that they turned away from good to become evil, although that's very simplified. They're the ones that probe you with anal probes and basically clap your cheeks and without your consent and shove things down your throat and implant devices in your body. These are the bad guys. And while the Arcturians and Palladians were watching for them, they tend to just sneak into the blockade anyway. As others who have had ET confrontations with those guys, they're not friendly, and they never will be. But the ones that did not give up their genuine concern, when they actually do examine you, they're nice. They say please. They say thank you. They explain to you what they want to know. They don't just grab things and shove them up your inner orifice, or down your oral orifice, or into your pee hole. They ask and explain why they want to do that. Some of those ETs have collected various fluids from humans with permission because they were trying to find a way to better be able to procreate and save their own race, which is quickly dying out. Just like the bad guys, they weren't able to breed anymore. And they wanted so bad to preserve what's left of their integrity, even if it's by cloning. But the cloning experiments just didn't work. And so they were stuck. How can we clone a person when we can't even figure out how to clone properly even our own selves? I felt bad for the good guys because I realized that they weren't trying to be bad. I kind of understood the bad guys too. The fact is that they felt that being bad guys made me more exciting. But really the truth is it just isolates you more than ever before. But you know how it is. Of course, the Cabal also had his Earth agents too. And one of the things that them was trying to do was constantly mislead everybody about why the Palladians and Arcturians were there. They're always trying to stir the pot, working with agencies like Black Lives Matter and Antifa, and trying to say that these races are anti-white, are anti-black, anti-white, and are not there for the well-being of the people of Earth, which is not even true. The Soros family, mainly Caesar Zorro and his younger brothers and sisters, were trying to say that these other NGOs, that these organizations were right to say that the Palladian Arcturian embassies were evil. However, looking at the information presented by the Arcturians and the Palladians, showed them that their logic was not well founded on any logic or common sense. Something to think about. How are you, buddy? Says King Fairy. So, that's pretty much where we are right now, on the story. It's, so we'll try to get everybody back. And, hey, how you doing, Davidus? So we did tell a story, kind of extension of the story from last week. You could see it was part two. It was definitely different. Thank you. Well, we're gonna try to work on that some more and try to add to it in the future. Well, guys, I think it's time to wrap it up. I mean, it is currently over. Let's see, what time is it now? 110:47. 110:47. And so it is just about time to wrap it up. And well, maybe he has poor internet quality, guys. That happens so often. Give him some time to find out. First of all, check out where he lives. Maybe he just doesn't have a good cell site. Doesn't mean that he doesn't want to give good service. Just means that the quality of the video may not be the greatest. All right, but anyway, guys, it is time for us to wrap it up. So I'm gonna check my emails, DMs, and things like that. And so for now, I will see you all in the morning show. Oh, don't forget that I believe it's Tuesday next week. There will be on the 18th. There will not be a morning show because I will be going to a special ear doctor to find out what's going on with my ears, and so we'll probably will have a show when I get home in the afternoon. If the weather is not too hot, that is. So we'll check it out and see what we can do at that point. And I do hope that you all have a nice day and stay out of trouble, everybody. And I will see you in the morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.